All right, take a look at this picture. Look at this guy's eyebrows. How would you describe his eyebrows? There's one word I'm thinking of. There's one word to describe this. Do you know what that word is? Well, I'm going to tell you. The word is a unibrow. A unibrow. Right? You know what uni means, right? The prefix uni. Okay, that means one, right? And brow, do you know what brow means? Brow means forehead. Okay, so actually, very often the word brow is used, to talk about your forehead, right? This area is your forehead, but I think more in Old English. In Old English, people would refer to your forehead as your brow. Okay, so you might be reading a book and you might read something that says he wiped his brow, right? He wiped the sweat off his brow. Okay, so that's your brow, and you might use some tweezers to pluck hairs, out of your eyebrows. Do you pluck your eyebrows? I think a lot of people pluck their eyebrows, right? These are called tweezers, and you can also use tweezers if you get a sliver, right? If you're working with wood and you get a sliver, you might need to use tweezers to pull the sliver out of your finger. Okay, so take a look at this guy. How would you describe his eyebrows? Well, again, there's one word that comes to my mind when I see eyebrows like this. And the word is bushy. Bushy. Okay, so that's a good word for this situation. Bushy just means really, really thick. Thick, like a bush, right? You know what a bush is. It's sort of like a small tree, right? So yeah, we would use that, really like bushy. You could also use this for a person's beard. Like if a guy has a really big beard, you could say his beard is bushy, right? So a beard and eyebrows can be bushy. Okay, so take a look at this girl. How would you describe her eyebrows? Are they bushy? No, they're not bushy. They're the opposite of bushy. They're very thin, right? So usually when we talk about people's appearance, it's good to use the word thin, not skinny, right? We wouldn't say her eyebrows are skinny, And if you're talking about someone's weight as well, it's better to use the word thin than skinny, right? It's more of a compliment. You could say, hey, you're looking nice and thin. You look really thin after working out for a few months. You've lost a lot of weight. You're looking really thin. It's better than saying you lost a lot of weight. You're looking really skinny. Okay, so thin is more of a compliment. It's more risky to tell someone that they're skinny. Okay, so look at this girl. How would you describe her eyebrows? Look at the angle of her eyebrows, right? I would say they're straight. They're just sort of straight in a straight line. Now, I don't know why, but a lot of women in Southeast Asia, like China, Vietnam, Thailand, their eyebrows are like this, like sort of straight, right? Whereas if you go to other parts of the world, like, I don't know, Europe or here in North America as well, eyebrows tend to be more shaped like this. Okay, so how would you describe that shape? Sort of that curved shape. Well, a good word to use for that would be arched. Arched. An arch is like sometimes monuments. You might see a monument like in Paris. There's an arch. There's a famous arch in Paris, or in the city of is it St. Louis in the U.S.? I don't know if it's St. Louis, but there's a big arch there too. Okay, so that shape is called an arch. Okay, now you might be able to use colors or shades of colors to talk about people's eyebrows too, right? Like her eyebrows are pretty light, right? They look really light to me, whereas her eyebrows are pretty dark. So you can use light, dark, brown, black, blonde, pale. I don't know, maybe you could use the word pale to describe her. This sort of a very pale or fair. Maybe that would be a better word. Fair, fair colored. You know, she obviously has fair colored skin and fair colored eyebrows. I don't know. I would just say a light color, light eyebrows and dark eyebrows. But usually we don't talk about the color of people's eyebrows, right? Okay, so another thing you can say is when we're describing the eyebrows, you can say they come to a point. Okay, so look at her eyebrow here, right? It comes to a point right here. Okay, comes to a point. That means if something gets more and more narrow, thinner and thinner until it comes to a point. Okay, so her eyebrows come to a point, whereas this guy's eyebrows, they don't really come to a point, right? They're just sort of bushy. So yeah, now when we talk about facial hair, right? You know, probably the most common word we use is grooming. Grooming. Okay, so do you groom your face? Do you groom the hair on your face? You know, some people might use tweezers or a trimmer, right? Like men very often use trimmers to keep their beard sort of short or, you know, nice and trimmed. I didn't trim my beard today. Maybe I look a bit scruffy. Scruffy. Scruffy means when you don't shave, then that's your skin. The hair is a bit scruffy. Now, if you don't groom for a long time, then a good word to use is unkempt. Unkempt. Okay, that means not groomed. It means messy. You know, if you don't shave for a long time, your beard will, you know, get really big and bushy, and maybe your eyebrows and your hair, you look unkempt. Okay, so it's not good in our culture most of the time. I mean, maybe if you want to look that way, that's fine, but then people might think you look homeless, right? You look like a caveman or something like that, right? You don't shave your beard or trim your, you know, pluck your eyebrows or something. You know, maybe people would say you look unkempt. Okay, now this word is it looks interesting, right? Usually the prefix un means the opposite of something, right? If something is, let's say, unnecessary, right? Unnecessary is the opposite of necessary. But for this word, the word kempt, I don't think it's a word. I don't think we can say, oh, you look very kempt. You know, you look very neat and you know, well trimmed, well groomed. You look very kempt. We don't say that. Okay, so this word is only in the negative. So it looks like it looks like it could be the opposite of something, but it's not. You can't say a person is kempt. You have to say a person is well groomed. Well groomed. Okay, so like I said, you know, you can use different ways, different tools to you know, keep your face groomed. You could use tweezers or a trimmer, or sometimes people wax. You know, people might wax their eyebrows or wax their maybe wax their sideburns. These are called your sideburns here. Do you wax? That would be kind of painful, right? You put wax here on your hair and then that would be probably be a little bit painful to wax, but I don't know. I don't wax my body, and actually I don't do anything with my eyebrows. My eyebrows are just natural the way they are. But I want to know about you. What do you do with your eyebrows? Do you pluck your eyebrows? Do you wax your eyebrows? Do you trim your eyebrows? Or do you do nothing like me? Let me know your answer down there in the comments, and I'll see you over in the next episode of Mad English TV. Take care.